Okay, this video is long overdue. I've been wanting to help out my fellow MOA guys with the FlySky Noble setup. I've probably helped about 24 people through Messenger, and I've been wanting to do a video for a long time for those that learn better by seeing. So, what we're trying to accomplish is the mixing programming for the front and rear motor so that your car can work properly and efficiently. I use the FTR4 receiver. It's jammed in there, and you can't see it, but the trick is, and this is where it kind of gets everybody, is you don't actually use the channel 2 slot. You use channel 3 for the front and channel 4 for the rear. You leave channel 2 with nothing plugged into it. Now, on the radio side of things, this is how you set it up. So first of all, make a new model for your MOA and go into Assign and go through all of these and unassign everything. Like if you go in, it should say function none. If it doesn't, change it, because otherwise you're not going to be able to set this up, because it's going to be trying to override stuff, because the radio comes with a bunch of these buttons assigned to things, and that has caused a ton of grief for people. I'm going to change this to my model. I'm going to change this to my super light MOA. That's the one I just had on the table. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go into Assign. You're going to take this rear paddle right here, and I think of my dig as, or actually, back up. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Okay, you're going to go into Mixes first. Programming Mixes. You're going to use Mix 1 and Mix 2. Mix 1, master channel is throttle, or channel 2. So your radio is going to send a signal to your receiver, but you're not going to have anything plugged in. And then you're going to have channel 4 plugged into your rear motor. Leave your low side and high side at 100, your offset at 0, and make sure you select that on. Right? Save it. Then you're going to go Mix 2. Master channel throttle, same. Slave channel 3. Plug your other motor into channel 3. Low side at 100, and then your high side. This is the one you're going to adjust. And if you get a weird startup, you can change the offset. Try not to. I probably don't need 1%. It's probably not helping me much. I should probably just zero that. But 85, 90, 95 on the rear motor is pretty common. So you're going to underpower it a little bit. And that's your overdrive. But I'm going to show you how to make that completely changeable. Mine's just sitting at 85 right now. Make sure you turn it on. Right? Then you're going to go back to Assign. Now I've got my rear. I think of my dig as brakes. So I think of locking the rear, right? I'm going to lock the rear. I'm going to pull my cutter brake back. So this turns off my rear motor. This one turns off my front motor. So I've got those set, and those are on switch 3 and switch 2. This is like super bouncing around. I don't know why. So switch 2, we'll use this for an example. You're going to leave it on S button, and then you're going to assign it to the mix for the motor you want. Now this is the part where you have to decide. Some of my buddies like it so that their switch on the rear doesn't turn off their rear, but it turns on their front, or however their brain wraps around it. So this one can be different. You can have this on Mix 1 or Mix 2. You decide which way makes sense to you. Mode, trigger, direction, normal, right? Switch 3, same thing except for the other mix. S button, trigger, normal, and then just decide which one you want to lock and unlock the front and the rear, whatever makes sense to you. Now, this is something that I do. This guy right here. See, I use this for rear steer on my other cars, but on my MOA I don't have rear steer. So this guy right here, when I roll it back, I'm reducing the power to my rear motor. When I roll it forward, I'm increasing it. So I've got that set right here on TR4, normal, mix 2. It goes to the same one, but high side. So I'm only adjusting high side. And then I've got it changed reverse direction so that when I roll it back, it decreases. And when I roll it forward, it increases. I don't know why that's opposite. And then I've got it in steps of 5. And I'll show you what that does. So if you go to mixes and you go to mix 2, which is what it's assigned to. So when I roll that back, now I'm at 60% of power to the rear motor. When I roll it forward, now I'm at 90. I usually leave it around 85, 90. There have been some weird spots where I don't want a full lock, but I want more overdrive in the front, and so I'll change it. But I always just leave my front on 100, and I always just roll that back to reduce my rear. So for my radio, this is mix 2, this is mix 2. Mix 2 is set to channel 3. My rear motor is put on channel 3. This is mix 1, channel 4, and my front motor is plugged into channel 4. And hopefully that's pretty straightforward. If I missed anything, please drop it in the comments so I can clarify or edit or whatever I need to do. But yeah, another thing that I had set up for a while, I used to have it to where these adjusted my offset for the front and the rear. So I could take and reach up here and change my underdrive and then my overdrive, but I was like, man, that's too much going on. So if you want to do that, it's simply just assigning those buttons, and keep in mind they go in and out and up and down. So when you go to assign them, you'll have to determine what you want it to actually do, and then assign it to the mix 1 or the mix 2 that makes sense to you, and assign it to the high high side, which is the maximum. All right, hopefully that covered it. Happy wheeling. See you out there.